everyone. This hour on Verbling. The next in my great short stories class, we're going to be starting a brand new short story, a sci-fi science fiction story, so that we can compare it to the last one we read. It's a much more modern one. I think you'll like it. Don't forget to turn off your microphone, tune in to the new words you're learning, and open up to your classmates in this class. And by the way, don't forget to follow me on Verbling by going to my teacher's page, and that way you can see my upcoming classes. And that is my super short introduction. So, I cut you off in the last class, Vincenzo. Why don't you ask your question now? What were you going to ask before? Vincenzo, you had a question before? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
At the moment.
There we go. Oh, you got to turn your microphone back on, Vincenzo. It's off. There we go.
Yes, I know that I can use the not the undeterminate, I call you, article when you have not spoken about something before, no? I can use an article before.
That's right.
But in this case, we are looking at a picture. So can I say, in a case, in a bookshelf, because in the using the determinate, I can call it determinate article. I haven't spoken before of this, or you haven't spoken before of the bookcase in.
But
yes, it's very strange. I could say in a bookcase or something like this, teacher.
But you cannot say in a, because all of us, can see the bookcase, and because we can see it, we say the.
So in this case, it's different from something that you are talking to.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because it's not about whether
it's known. It's known because we can see it.
It's known, right? Yeah. We can see it. It's known. That's exactly right. Okay. And that's the reason. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Hey, what do you think about these dogs, everyone? Nice dogs, huh?
Yeah, they are from different colors. Teacher.
They are.
They could be, yes, in different positions. Yeah, they are looking at each other, but sometimes they are not looking. They are. I don't know how to say. They are
facing each other. Facing
each other. Facing.
That's right.
In the other case, they are not facing each other, but they are backing. I'm gonna say.
True. They are facing away from each other.
Yeah.
Facing away from. They're not backing. They're facing away.
Yes, in this case, they are very near, no? Very side by side. Okay.
Well, you're going to be reading about a designer dog in this science fiction story. So that's why I have this picture. I want you to think about. What kind of dog you would have if you could design it yourself, like a piece of furniture. In fact, that's what we're going to read about. In this story, we find a dog in a furniture store in the future. Not really a future, more like a parallel today. So you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Let me just say a quick hello to Laura, who's coming back from our other short story class. Hello, Laura. How are you?
Good morning.
You're going to like this one, Laura.
Yes, I hope so. I love dogs, and they seem that they have been drawn by a child or something like this, no? They are
I
funny.
drew those dogs.
Yeah.
Are you calling me a child?
Have you drawn this? Did you draw them?
No, I'm kidding. Someone else did, but I thought they were okay.
I have a dog teacher.
It's a sausage breed, no?
It's a what? I'm sorry, Laura. Say again.
This type of dogs, they breed.
Look, teacher.
Dachshund.
That's my dog.
Yes, they seem like
Hey.
sausage.
What kind of dog is that, Vincenzo?
It's a York. Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Careful.
Oh dear. That is destroying my.
Be careful. Dogs are dangerous. Be careful.
Oh dear. Okay.
He got.
Uh.
He was attacked. You were attacked by your dog.
Yeah.
You were attacked.
Because took out my plug.
Oh, I see.
My plug.
There we go.
Hello, teacher. Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
So
he took out my plug.
It's a Yorkshire Terrier, you said?
Yes, Yorkshire. Yes, teacher. Yorkshire. 5 years old. Yes.
He's got the same haircut as Laura. He's got the same haircut.
Yes.
You can't
It's
see
a
his
lot
eyes.
of hair. I'm by her.
Let me say a quick hello to Zolt. I can't remember how to pronounce your name. If it's Zolt or Jolt. Can you turn on your microphone?
Yes. Hey, Jamaican everybody.
Is
It's
it
my first class
is it-
with you.
is it Jolt? Jolt or Zolt?
Zsolt.
Jolt.
Yes,
Okay.
Zsolt.
And and
Yes.
you're from Hungary, right?
Yes, for Hungary.
All right. Very good. Hey, listen. Are you sure we didn't have a class together in the past? You and me?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We
'Cause
didn't
'cause I-
have it together.
Ah, okay.
Yes?
Because I had a student called Jolt from Hungary, and it was
Really?
yeah, really, and it was private classes, or maybe just one or two private classes. But I guess it wasn't you.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Ah, okay. There are more than one Jolts in Hungary, then.
I guess so.
Apparently. Well, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read the beginning of the story, and we're gonna try. And I'm gonna not just the beginning. I'm gonna pick out a few parts of the story to read together, and I want to get you thinking about not just the words, but the themes, what the author is going for, why he paints the picture of reality the way he does. And then you're going to read the rest of the story on your own, and in the next class, which will be next Friday, we're going to have a class-long discussion of what it means, of parts of the story that you want clarified. So we're going to start today, read a little bit, talk about it, and that will prepare you to make it easier to read on your own. A second thing to keep in mind, besides the fact that this is about dogs, is that it's a slightly science fiction story. So we can compare it to the J.G. Ballard story we read last week. We can do a little comparison. How are these science fiction stories different? Some people might not call it science fiction, but it's definitely not a realistic story in some ways. Let's find out more by reading right now. Let's get started. So this is Eckeeta by Daniel Torday, and it was just published like a week ago. Brand new story. So normally I do great short stories. You have to decide if this is a great short story. This is not a classic. It's brand new. Right now I just have the link to the original publication and the link to the story. I'll probably have discussion questions for you and stuff later. Okay? So let's read the first page, talk about it, and then we'll see where we are from there. Okay? Let's get a little bit of experience with the story first. Why don't you start us off, Lara? Can you? And I'll make this a little bigger for you. By the way, if you need the material, as you know, it's always here in the it's always there in the class material, but I'll put it in the chat window as well. Okay?
Yes, I have it in front of me, and the letter is clear.
Okay, great.
Yes, yes.
So, take the first
Okay.
one for us, please.
Let's go. Edgar's wife was almost 5 months pregnant when they bought Eckeeta. They were in IKEA shopping for Hens Week, a convertible crib they've read about in Consumer Reports, and a changing table. On the way for the meatballs and a lingonberry juice at the shop's cafeteria, they pass through Småland, the children's section. Edward picked up a stuffed animal that might have been a rabbit, but seems to bear a marsupial
Pouch.
pouch. He waved it at his wife. Just then the dog cocked its eyes.
Imke. Imke is the name of his wife.
Inca's eye, or more accurately, her halted top, the bottom of which it half clenched in its partially bored jaws.
Okay.
Jaws.
Before we talk about the opening paragraph, I want to read it a second time really quickly. Listen to my pronunciation and tell me if there's any words that were different or that are different than you expect. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay, listen carefully. Edgar's wife was almost 5 months pregnant when they bought Eckeeta. They were in IKEA shopping for Hensvik, a convertible crib they'd read about in Consumer Reports, and a changing table, on their way for some meatballs and a lingonberry juice at the store's cafeteria. They passed through Småland. Well, I guess in English we would say small land. The children's section. Edgar picked up a stuffed animal that might have been a rabbit, but seemed to bear a marsupial pouch. He wagged it at his wife. Just then, the dog caught Imke's eye, or more accurately, her halter top, the bottom of which had clenched in its particle board jaws. So before we talk about what that means, what words were different than you expected, Laura? What words?
Let me see. Yes, different lingonberry, maybe because it had 4 syllables. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also because it's not gone, but gun. Ling.
Gun.
Right.
Yes. In another hand, I pronounce wrong. Wagged.
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 Right.
Yes.
I'll put the pronunciation words in bold. Wagged.
Wags. Then I didn't this word checked, or I don't know how it's pronounced. Check.
This word here?
Yes.
Clenched.
Clenched.
Good.
Yes. Then I didn't pronounce wrong. Cafeteria. I say.
Yeah, good.
Say. Yes, I say in Spanish, cafeteria.
What did I do here? I put a link by accident. Wait.
Oh my god. And I pronounce wrong. More words, yes. I think that, yes, I found difficult to pronounce words with more than four syllables because I don't know where to put the stress, even though I don't know how to pronounce them.
And here's the answer. Here's the answer. In English, the stress goes usually either the first or the middle. Usually one or the other. Usually. In fact, there's no rules. But it's not going to be the penultimate syllable like Spanish.
Yes, because for example, the last word, particle board, I know the words separately, particle and boards, but together.
Right. Particle board.
Oh, yeah.
Particle board.
Sure.
Yeah, yes. Yes, but then I have to pronounce it. Particle board. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
cafeteria, and there are another words that I pronounce. Stuffed. Stuffed.
Oh, stuffed.
Stuffed.
Right. So this is what I'll do. I'll put the pronunciation words in bold.
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll repeat them after you read the paragraph.
Yes.
And vocabulary words, I will put a link to. I don't know if I can do it while you're reading because you might not be able to see it. But I'll put a link to like this. You open the research tab, and it allows you to put a link. So clenched now has a link. Later, when you review or when you read it on your own, you can click on that link. As you can see, it'll open, in this case, to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, which is I think an American dictionary.
Okay.
and you will see, well, when it loads, you'll see the definition. Normally, I use vocabulary.com because I think it's got everything you need. But in this case, I just clicked the first link I could find. Clench. To
Clench.
set something tightly. It was clenched in his teeth. The dog was biting part of her clothing. He was clenching it. Okay, so now that you know the rules of the game, we know how we're going to do the reading. Let's talk about what it means. What kind of dog is this? Lara, what kind of dog is it?
You
Do we know?
see, well, it may be because I have seen the picture. It
Right.
seems like a sausage dog.
Like
No?
a dachshund.
Yes, because he has a beard, some marsupial paw. This is
Oh,
another.
not the dog. That's another thing.
Oh my God.
That's another thing. That's the stuffed animal that looks like a rabbit, but it's got a pouch.
Pouch.
So let's ask another question.
Pouch.
This one is to Mr. Jolt. Jolt, are you out there? Jolt, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Jolt, do you have IKEA in Hungary?
Yes, we have them here too. Yes,
And what kind of store is IKEA?
it's a furniture store.
Ah, have you ever bought furniture in IKEA?
Yeah, sure,
Me too.
many times.
Everything I own.
Yeah.
So
But what is a stuffed animal, teacher? I don't know what is it. Stuffed animal.
that's a good question. If you go to IKEA,
Yeah.
I'll put a stuffed animal here. If you go to IKEA, it's got different sections. One section
Yeah.
is for the kids, and so, by the way, there's a picture of a stuffed animal. Can you see it?
Ah, stuffed.
Yeah,
Oh, I understand.
that's it. So, Joe, have you ever seen the kids part, Smallland, in IKEA? What's inside the kids part, Smallland? Have you seen it?
Yeah, sure. When I go with my daughter, it's hard to leave that section, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There are stuffed animals and different toys for kids.
And there's also a little indoor playground too.
And the playground, yes.
Yeah, so that's Smallland. Smallland is the playground. You've got these balls. The kids can dive into the balls like it's water. They go into the balls. A little thing to climb. Let me see. So that's the location. It's a modern location. Is there anything unusual about this first paragraph, class? Is there anything a little bit unusual so far? Would you expect to find a dog in an IKEA, class? What do you think?
It's not usual, no?
Yeah,
At all.
there's no animals allowed in the store.
Yes.
So what does that tell you about this dog? What kind of dog is it? And look at this last part here.
A toy.
It's a toy, right? Particle board. You know what that is?
No, I don't know the meaning.
Jolt, do you know what particle board is?
I know the meaning of
I have no idea, actually.
Particle board is cheap wood. Cheap
Huh?
wood that's been pressed together. Sometimes it's called plywood, I guess. So
Okay.
particle board, and it looks like, I'll show you. It looks like this when I can get it open. You'll see. But it's like pieces of wood that have been pushed together. Can you see this picture? It's a little small.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like bits of wood that have been pressed together, and then they put a surface on it to make it look like an expensive piece of wood, but it's not. It's really cheap. And it's a bit flimsy too. It'll fall apart easy. So it's like a toy. Exactly. It's like a toy. And what's it doing to her, Laura?
Mm.
What's it biting?
Hu- Well, I thought that halter was like a stop,
Like
but
a?
like the verb stop, but maybe it's halt. No,
It's not exactly. It's I'm going to give you a little link here. Site vote. Vocabulary.com. Give me just a second, and you'll pull this up. And then we're going to go. Oh no, it's putting the wrong word. Hold on a second.
halter top, the front, the for. Today I little thick. I'm
One
sick.
second. 1 second. Well, you can see this link right here.
Yes.
Let me see if I can preview that. There you go.
Oh my god.
Exactly. So it's like underwear. So that's what the dog is biting. And if we go to the real definition, halter, rope or canvas for a horse. So it's some kind of, like the dog is like biting her clothes. I guess it's like a bra or something like that, or halter top. So, but in this case, it might not be that. It might just be the kind of shirt that she's wearing, or it might be what I don't know. I because I'm not a woman, so I don't buy halter tops. But usually, we can get another picture of it. So it's some kind of piece of clothes. Okay, the main part is it can't be a real dog because it has particle board jaws, and it's biting her. That seems like it did it on purpose. So this is not a normal toy, is it? At least it doesn't seem to be. Okay, Jolt, take it away. See where we are?
Yes.
Okay, go for it, Jolt.
So Imke had grown up with dogs. She didn't get upset. She petted Eckeeta's head. 3 nearby toddlers began petting the dog too. One buried his face in its felt coat and swished her nose gleefully back and forth, giggling. Imke swooned.
Keep
With
going.
this save, we might try to adopt a dog and get it housebroken before the baby arrives, she said. Not sure adopt is the right word for this particular guy, Edgar said. He wasn't sure he'd signed on for the idea of a baby and a puppy all at once. But when you're pregnant or your wife's pregnant, Edgar thought, it's hard not to want to cuddle and coax every living thing and give it a fighting chance.
All right. Let's. What do you think he means by this sentence? Not sure adopt is the right word. I'll ask that here in the comments too.
You adopt a kid,
Yeah.
I think. Maybe you can adopt a dog, but it's for something living.
Yeah, right.
You can?
You can adopt a dog, but not one that is not alive.
Yeah.
So this gives us the definite clue that this dog is not a real dog. That's how we know for sure. Housebroken. What do you think that means? We did say we might try to adopt a dog and get it housebroken. What do you think, Jolt?
Maybe to lose its house, meaning when the baby arrives, maybe they have to get rid of the dog because of the baby.
Not get rid of.
I'm not sure.
Get rid of. Broken means to get something new and make it comfortable, something so it becomes familiar. So we say break it in. That means make it familiar. That means the house will be familiar to the dog.
Oh,
So we have to break the house in for the dog, or get the dog house broken. Get the dog familiar with the house so that the dog isn't nervous by the time the baby arrives. So, does this seem like a science fiction story yet?
Vocabulary is not. Yes.
Say again, Laura?
Maybe because they use a symbolic vocabulary and open to think about a lot of things, it seems like it's an unusual story, no?
Symbolic? Like what?
For example, well, maybe it's not symbolic, but there are things that don't happen. Usually, you don't go to IKEA and you find a dog.
Exactly.
And then you don't pick like a toy and it beats
So,
you. So,
except for the dog, everything else is just everyday life, normal. We all buy furniture, right? We all talk about adopting a dog. There's nothing unusual except the dog itself. Interesting. One more vocabulary word that you might want to, let's take a look at coddle and coax. Let's see if I can give you a link to it as well. So, coddle is kind of like cuddle. And coax, I'll put a link there as well.
Coax.
If I say, I know you don't know, but I want to coax the answer out of you. To coax the answer out of you. What am I doing? Do you know that expression? To coax something.
To take away, to lead away. To lead.
Yeah, to lead. To lead.
To lead.
Yeah, to lead. So coddle and coax. It's kind of lead, but in a, you're being nice and you're trying to get someone to do something that's good for them.
Yes, but in a certain mode, teacher. To lead,
Okay.
but in certain way, teacher.
To lead in a certain way. Sure.
Yeah, yes, I don't know. I have to explain, teacher.
That's it. Okay, so that's it. We've got a world that so far seems pretty normal. They're in IKEA, they're buying furniture, and one unusual thing happens. This toy dog, Eckeeta, bites the clothes of the woman and gets her attention. And they thought about adopting a dog. Maybe now's their chance. Okay, so take it away, Vincenzo. This is where we are.
Yes. Eckeeta stopped licking one of the toddler's faces with his nylon tongue. He came, could you stick out the shades? Okay, thanks. He came over to Edgar and did that dog thing where they come up from behind and puzzle the palm of your hand, and then you are down on one knee, scratching them behind their ears. In this case, they were ears made of some kind of synthetic brown fabric that felt like sisal or burlap. Edgar attempt forbearance and threw a nearby ball to try to get the dog to chase it. Then, seconds later, Eckeeta was back. He dropped Loka at Edgar's feet and wagged his tail.
Keep going.
Then Edgar was taking a tag off the wall with Eckeeta's information. He and Inke went and ate IKEA meatball in gravy.
In English, IKEA. In English, IKEA.
IKEA meatballs in gravy.
Okay, let's stop for a second. So, how do we know this is not just a toy? What does the dog do to show us it's not just a toy? What about its behavior? What does the dog do, Vincenzo? The key word.
In some surrealistic situation.
Yeah, the key word is nuzzle.
Puzzle.
What's nuzzle?
Nuzzle. Nuzzle. No, I know puzzle, but not nuzzle. Since something nuzzle and
Class,
no,
help him out. What's nuzzle? Do you know?
no, I don't know.
Class, help him out. Nuzzle. Anyone?
Puzzle. No, nuzzle.
Nuzzle. Nuzzle.
Nuzzle.
Lara, Schultz, do you know?
No,
Lara, Schultz?
Yacht.
Lara?
Well, I kind of cheated because I just looked it up. And,
There's no cheating. Looking up is okay. What does it mean?
Okay, so when a dog sniffing and put his nose to your hand.
Exactly. So he describes it as that thing that dogs do where they nuzzle you. When they put their nose against you, and it's like an affectionate thing. They rub their nose against you. They press their face into yours or into your hand or whatever to get your attention. So
the puzzle.
nuzzle, right.
Nuzzle.
So it can't be a toy because toys don't come up and nuzzle you.
Yeah.
Right? It's
surrealistic. Then it's surrealistic.
It is. It's very surrealistic. And notice how everything in the story has a special IKEA name. So the ball is Loka. and the dog is Eckeeta. And that's not an accident either. We'll find out more about that in a minute. Okay, let's move on. That was our introduction. I'm going to do the next one for you. The cafeteria where they ate was bright. Edgar kept feeling like he was somewhere in Western Europe, Amsterdam maybe, or Brussels. What made it feel that way? Edgar couldn't track the empirical reason for it, but the feeling was inescapable. There was a time not long before when he put on a Gregory backpack and trekked around with a Eurail pass. Now, in a matter of months, he would have to stay home every night, hushing a baby to sleep. Hushing a baby to sleep. Hush. Shh. Hushing a baby to sleep. All right, we're back to Lara. Lara?
All around the airy room, everyone had a kid. A tattooed couple trailed 2 boys under the age of 6. Both had faux hawks and Beirut t-shirt.
Wait. Faux hawks.
4 hawks.
Instead of faux pas, which means
Yes.
mistake, it's
Faux
faux hawks.
Faux
Faux
hawks.
hawks.
Faux hawks.
We'll talk about that in a minute. It's not an obvious word. It's a very American thing. I'll explain. It's a joke. Go ahead.
Faux hawks and Beirut t-shirt. Blue vein raised blue ink on the father's arms as he tried a tray full of meatballs and elderflower's juice. Until Ink got pregnant, it hadn't ever struck Edgar just how many people in IKEA had young children. And how many women were pregnant? Well, how many women were pregnant? The store was teeming with baby or future baby. It made sense for the first time that humans preparing to populate their home with new humans would want to solid, inexpensive structures to put them in.
Teaming. What does teaming mean? Do you know?
Even though I don't know if I pronounce it well. Was
Teaming.
teeming, full
Full. Full of. Teaming. Full of.
teeming.
Faux hawk is a joke because we don't normally say faux hawk. We normally say mohawk. So if it's a faux hawk, faux from French meaning false, right? So that means it's the fake mohawk. And this is what it looks like. Mohawk looks like. It's going to take a minute to load. Anyway, it means that you don't have to shave your head to get the mohawk effect. Can you see it? You've got a bunch of people with fake mohawks, faux hawks. A mohawk, if you have a mohawk, it means that you shave your head like Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. Let me see if I can.
Like Mohicans.
Like Mohicans, right.
Yes, okay.
And there's a real mohawk. See it? That's a real one.
Okay.
So this is a faux hawk. All right. Sorry, that was short, so keep going. Laura?
Putting in. So what do you think it will be? Imp said. It took Edgar a second to follow. He'd seen him staring at the kids.
She'd seen him.
She'd seen him staring at the kids. Your baby, Ed, boy or girl? It was all they've talked about lately. Edward didn't have the heart to admit he didn't have an opinion. It wasn't indifference, more a failure of imagination. He still couldn't even picture having a kid, let alone one with a gender. He'd always loved ink intensely, as if deep inside she bore some secret he needed to seek and protect. Now it seems that feeling was some prophecy come true, but it remained abstract.
Keep going, last line.
Okay. Boy, I guess, Edward said. Imke just looked down at her meatball. Or girl, I don't know. So you call meatball the belly of the pregnant women?
No.
Oh my God! Today I'm. It seems like I have a brick under.
Something to eat, no?
Meatball is a round made of meat, no?
Yeah.
That you eat.
Yeah, they're in the cafeteria.
Okay. Well, because it's a little surrealistic. Now I start to think in things that are not. Okay. Sorry.
It's not that surrealistic.
No, maybe because my mind is
Fortunately.
okay.
No. It means it. He means it literally. They're eating meatballs, but
Yeah, really meatballs.
but look at this, Laura. So what are they talking? What's the conversation about here?
If they are going to have a baby or a boy or a girl,
Right.
and that
How does he feel about it?
yes, he wants to have a baby because he loves her, but he doesn't really mind if
But he doesn't really. Say again.
he wants to have a baby just because he wants to have her. He wants to have a baby,
Mhm.
and it seems like the relation is now just boring, and it's something that
That's interesting. Maybe. So they seem like they might be a bit bored. Interesting.
yes, no,
Could be. It could be. Does he seem ready to have a baby?
he really don't know. It's like, well, I love her.
Yeah,
Then,
there's definitely
step.
something, right? There's definitely something going on. There's some kind of, I don't know, like reticence or something like that. It's something. We don't know what it is, but something. And then this thing about she loved her intensely, but deep inside she bore some secret. So he doesn't understand her. If she has a secret, he doesn't understand her. Do you think that's a problem between the two of them? Or do you think it's a problem between all men and women? Do you think every father feels that way before he becomes a father? Let's ask the fathers. Fathers, did you feel that way before you became a father? He feels like he doesn't really understand her, and now that she's pregnant, it's as if there really was a secret all this time, and the secret was this baby, this mysterious and magical thing. How did that happen? Can you sympathize with Edgar, Vincenzo, Jolt?
I don't understand. I can understand well the meaning of this sentence. Not this story.
This part.
Mm.
She bore some secret. He felt like she had some secret.
Why is bore? Bore is something that you don't like, no?
No.
Bore
Bore here is
when
to
something
wear.
is boring.
To wear. To wear. No, to wear. To bear it.
To bear.
To bear.
To bear. I was
Yeah.
with boring, something boring.
No, not at all. No, this is
okay. Excuse me.
to bear.
To bring. Yes.
So, for example, to bear a heavy load, that means you have to stand it. You have to put up with it. It's difficult. You have to bear it.
Yes, you have to.
It also means to have. Just to have. To bear can be to have. So she's going to have a kid. She's going to bear children. So there's a little joke. She bears a secret and she bears children. She has a secret. He feels that way. Maybe she doesn't, but he feels that way because I don't know. I don't know why.
Yes, because it's something very important, I think. No?
Yeah, something very important. Something that he can't do. He cannot have children. Maybe in the future men will have children, but for now they don't. So he can't have children. So it's something like mysterious. It's like a secret. I think that's what they're getting at. And I agree with you, Laura, that maybe there's something else going on too. I don't know. Maybe they're bored. Maybe something seems like a little bit of reticence, like not. I don't know. Just something there too. I kind of noticed it.
We have lost our teacher. Your name is Salt. How
yes,
do you?
It's Jolt.
Can you repeat, please?
Jolt. It might be a little difficult.
Salt, without pronounce the Z.
Sorry?
Without the Z, salt.
Jolt.
Oh my God. Hungarian Hungarian has to be very difficult, no? Because it's a language that is unique. They don't came from another language, no?
Yeah, everybody says that Hungarian is one of the most difficult languages of the world.
Yeah.
I don't really know because it's my native language, but it's said that it's really difficult, and it's very different from English. So it's difficult to learn English for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have met a lot of Hungarian people.
Really?
Yes. Life is really, really funny. And they were very good in English, maybe because your language is very difficult. And even the pronunciation, well, for me, is because I am Spanish and I'm from a Latin language, because it's completely different from my language, maybe I can see it like difficult. Yes.
And how come you met so many Hungarian people?
Well, I was doing Santiago's pilgrimage. I don't know if you have listened about this. It's a Santiago pilgrimage. It's It's how can I describe it? If you are
Pilgrimage.
sorry?
Pilgrimage.
Yes, that's why. Yes, pilgrimage. Yes. And there are different Hungarian people who had an hostage or a hostel, and they are living in Spain. So there are more Hungarian people who are living there. That's what I know. Hello, our teacher has come again.
He's back.
And do you live in Budapest or do you live in another part?
I live in Budapest, yes.
Yes, it's beautiful, no? A beautiful city.
It's very nice.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, and we can see you even though.
Wow.
Yeah, you can hear me.
But you look like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
No,
What
don't
happened?
worry.
All right. I don't know why that happened, but
2 days ago, I tried to have classes back internet when we
you asked who? Say again? I'm sorry. I can't hear you, Laura.
no, when we depend on internet, these things can happen. 2 days
Yes.
ago, I was trying to have classes, but it was impossible because I didn't have connection. So
Yeah, but I don't know why I get kicked out. It just some days I do. I don't know what the story is. It's got to be a reason. Anyway, Joel, sorry we skipped you. Want to take the rest of the second part of the story here?
Sure.
I'll make it a little bigger if you need to see it. Sorry, let me make this. That's about as big as I can get it.
Okay.
So they just decided that he's trying to guess the sex, and he says, "Oh, it's a boy, I guess." And then she says, "Or maybe a girl." As if he just is a guy and can't really understand anything, which is probably true.
Yes, I think so. So, downstairs in the warehouse, Edgar and Inke walked up a
Aisle.
aisle 10 to row 16. There was the box, Eckeeta. There is a number.
106549055.
Yes. What they found there wasn't the dog himself. Instead, there was a long cardboard box containing puppy parts to assemble at home. Edgar struggled to get the box onto the blue cart. It was far too heavy for its modest dimensions, like it contained carbonite or a black hole. Edgar lost control. The
Joke, by the way.
box clanked onto the floor. Something metallic rang inside.
Keep going.
Careful, Inke said. That's a new little guy in there. Edgar rested the box on his knee. He swiped sweat from his upper lip.
He
no way.
swiped.
He swiped sweat from his upper lip. There is no way to feel angry in the IKEA warehouse.
There's no way not to feel angry.
There is no way not to feel angry in the IKEA warehouse. You've just been drinking lingonberry juice and then shopping to the end of your patience, and now there are boxes to lug. Just as he was about to express his frustration, Edgar couldn't help but notice his wife's stomach. A little bump bulged. Can you help me? Bulged. A little bump bulged at her waistline. He was careful as he placed the box atop the other boxes, all full of the million little parts that would soon furnish baby's room.
So what were they doing in the warehouse? If you've been to IKEA, you know this experience. Why were they in the warehouse, Jolt?
Because you have to collect the parts of the furniture you want to buy.
Yeah, it's annoying. Who assembles the furniture?
Sorry?
Who assembles the things you buy at IKEA? Who does the assembly?
The customer.
Right. And in this case,
it can be tricky sometimes.
it can be tricky because there's always parts left over and you can never figure out where they went.
Yes.
Where'd they go? What are they going to assemble? What are they buying here, Jolt? What are they buying?
It says puppy parts, so
Yes.
it's a dog.
They fell in love with the dog in the kids section, and they decide to buy it. The dog that was nuzzling. What do you think's going to happen when they go to assemble it? What's your guess?
They will have problems maybe and put it together in the wrong way. I don't know. It can happen.
It happens every time when you go to IKEA, so I can't imagine it'll be different now. So they bought the puppy and they're gonna try to put it together. If you ever go to IKEA, you notice there are no words on the instructions, only pictures. And the pictures are confusing. Very confusing. A little bump bulged. Repeat, bulged.
Bulged.
What is bulged? What is the bump doing? What do you think that means? What is the little bump we're talking about? What is that? Did his wife get hurt? What do you think? What's your guess?
I'm really not sure.
The bump is because she's pregnant.
So it's her belly.
It's her belly, right. Okay. So the bump is her belly, and bulged means to stick out, to protrude. So he's carrying the IKEA stuff, and he notices his wife's belly. She's already got the bulge. The baby is, who knows how old, I would say. You start to see the bulge at what? 3 months? 4 months? You start to see it more clearly? So 3 months maybe? I would guess, I don't know.
It's a kick.
Say again?
Is it a kick of the baby or no?
I can't hear you, Vincenzo. Repeat.
Is it a kick of the baby?
No, it's just that it sticks out. It protrudes. To bulge is to protrude, to stick out. So,
I understand.
Well, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
At what month did you notice? At what month could you see your wife was pregnant? How many months?
I think after 4 months. I don't know.
4 months, right.
Yeah.
So, before 4 months, there is no bulge. At 3 months, 3.5 months, 4 months, there is a bulge. So it means we can see her belly. It bulges out. So bulge, what's the opposite of bulge then? What's the opposite? What do you think? Not just Vincenzo, all of you. What's the opposite of bulge?
Plain.
Plain,
Well,
flat.
plain.
Yeah, flat. Exactly. So if your stomach, if your belly is flat, there is no bulge. That's it. Let's see. We're kind of at the end of the hour, so this is what we're going to do here. That was part 1. The next part, we're going to call this part 2. And what I want you to do is, I'd like you to read the rest of the story. It's not that long. I'd like you to read the rest of the story over the next week. I'm gonna label this. Yeah, for next
Friday. Okay.
Right. And here's my plan. I'm going to try to help you by putting 1 or 2 questions at the end of each part of the story. There's like 5 parts, I think, but they're very short. The story is not long at all, just a few pages.
Okay.
I'll give you a few questions to help you think about the story.
Mm-hmm.
The questions will be there to make sure you're thinking in the right direction, that you're not confused about the main details.
Okay.
I'll try to give you a few questions to think about the overall meaning at the end. So we'll have comprehension questions and then discussion questions. You can answer them, or you can just think about them. In the next class, we're going to talk about what the story means. I'll help you with some vocabulary, and it will be your chance to connect to the story by comparing it to, you know, this is an American story, for example. Is your culture, is it the same in your culture? Is there something universal about the story? What do you think about the surreal aspect of the story? What do you think the author is trying to say? What's the deeper meaning? Let me ask you a question before we go. What do you think is going to happen? We've got a man and a woman, got a baby coming, we've got a dog who is magically alive, even though it's a toy. What do you think is going to happen next, class? What do you think?
When they assembled the dog, it's going
Right.
to be a revolution.
Yeah?
Why is
Because
that?
it's going to do what a real dog usually do.
Does.
No? Does. Sorry.
Yeah.
No? I
Could
suppose.
be like Pinocchio. Teach Pinocchio.
Yeah. Could be. So, but the dog can't speak, so it can't lie. but Pinocchio came to life, right? It was like a wooden doll that came to life. So it is kind of a Pinocchio story. That's a good point. We might want to think about that. Schultz, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
I'm sure they will have some kind of problems with the dog,
Of course.
but I can't imagine what kind of problems. I really hope the dog won't hurt the baby.
Yeah. That's the first thing that I thought of too. That they keep mentioning the baby, and the first thing I thought of is that it's this kind of like almost like a robot, and it maybe doesn't understand what a baby is. Like, you know, when you have
It sounds
pets,
bad,
it's the first thing that I thought of. Well, I'll give you a little clue. The dog does not hurt the baby. Don't worry. It
That's
doesn't.
a really
Because it's not a horror story. But I can tell you 2 things. The man definitely has trouble assembling the dog. That does happen because it's IKEA, naturally. And there is definitely a conflict because the dog starts to behave differently than we might expect. That's all I'll say. The dog behaves quite differently than we might expect. In a way, it behaves like all dogs do. All dogs act a little strange. But this one acts strange in a particular way. So I'll leave it with that. You read it on your own. If you wait until later tonight, I'll put the discussion questions, okay? They're not there now. And then you read it during the week, a little bit every day. Next Friday, we'll come together again. We'll talk about it. We might look at a few interesting parts of it, but we're not going to read the story, just a few parts, okay? So, any questions or comments, you can write a message to me in the Verbling chat window. And you're free to write comments directly on the document. Just right-click, click on the comment button, and you can put your questions and comments directly in the text. Okay?
Okay.
That's it for now. Okay? Have a great week, everyone. I'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m. GMT for pronunciation practice, 10 GMT for the business class. Next Friday at the same hour to talk about the conclusion of Inca, our brand new sci-fi story. That's it for now, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you soon.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
See you.
Goodbye.